So, Darcie, can you tell me a little bit about what this is, the time of year and the subject matter? But I'd really love to hear a little bit about your technique and how you lay this down on canvas.
The beginning of like my first practice and like thinking about using and priming with like a rabbit skin glue, I think I was trying to figure out how to translate snow or light reflecting. And I think that's what I responded to with the rabbit skin glue, because it, in a certain light, you can kind of see it shine. So for me, what I responded to was the negative space versus, and how the composition kind of goes through. So for me, it was like leaving hints of snow, whether that's snow tracks or footprints, and especially the ice. And I think the water in itself and how that kind of reflects, and it's very muted and it's very bright. And I kind of want to have that same response when you look at the piece.
Yeah, because it's all sort of in that expanse of land with that beautiful sort of landscape in the background.
For me, I feel very inspired during the springtime, and I think that's like kind of like our beginning of the year. And I think that's when it, like, for me, that's like our new year. Our, like, we are living on the land. We are not even thinking about time and space. And I think that's something that I always feel inspired and I kind of start with, to be honest. And for me, having a springtime scene is always very like something I have to do.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really the first time that families go out on the ice, right?
Yeah.
In springtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the one fish.
Yeah.
Right there.
I didn't know one yet. I try to do one of one.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure, again, what time of year this would be, although the ATV is out, so.
Like I did this one, so it's kind of like spring, like fall, summer. And I would say around fall, just because it's when the sun finally sets.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like, and again, like another time of a little reset that happens throughout the year. So there's like this little moment here that I had with the antlers.
Right.
And then I was like, wait, I need to make a whole painting for for this series. But I had fun with all the details, and I've always wanted to do an ATV painting.
Yeah. Is that a Comatic on the left?
Yeah.
Yeah. The bright green in this is such a wonderful sort of contrast to the, to the background, which is not as differentiated. Yeah, gorgeous color. Okay, and talking about those antlers, can we now talk about this painting here?
I took this photo, I think, years ago. This is like, I don't even, it was one of an elders who passed away in Tuck, and I was like, how would I describe this? So I named it Elders Collection, and it just is something like a staple thing that you see on top of sheds. And I think it's beautiful how abstract and like there's so many forms and the shadows, and I just think there's a lot of interesting things that are happening. Yeah,
the antlers, well, they do remind me a little bit of that painting that you did years ago of the logging, being out, on the logs on the land. But this is more abstracted, I think, than many of your memory paintings, are.
Yeah, I had fun with, again, zooming in, zooming out, focusing on what forms I want to highlight and what forms I want to have come through, whether that's the shadows. And the biggest thing afterwards is the exaggerated sky that I really wanted to do. And it's just something that, I don't know, it was like a a gesture that I really want to do.
Wanted to just
Yeah.
do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because many people are going to turn around and say, well, is that the Northern Lights? But, you know, I was reading it as just a wonderful abstract bit of painting, so I bet you had fun with it.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, this is one of my favorite paintings in the exhibition. How would you describe this in terms of what you were portraying?
It's one of those slow moments where you have, where you try to take a mental picture and then you do, but it's not quite as great as you see in the photo. So for me, I did multiple iterations of this. I did this with not with the rabbit skin glue, and then it was hard to translate the light. And again, it's like this iteration of the photo to a gesso canvas with the white gesso, and now to something with the rabbit skin glue, something that I feel like I can be like, okay, this is similar than what I can document in from my memory.
Well, I know your artist statement about the show, you were talking about how some things are kind of vague because that's the way memory is, that it's not, you know, crystal clear and sharp.
Yeah, there's this, I always thought of it as a kind of a portal, and just like how, for me, my interpretation, how I see this is that however the light touches, it just kind of disappears. And I think that's what I'm trying to portray, and leaving some things, and I try to bring out a lot of the shadows in high contrast for me, because then it's like, it changes.
Yeah, and there's so much more light on this side of the painting than the wood stove side.
This was during Midway Lake Festival that happens every year, just outside of Fort McPherson. So it's kind of like my little tour after the springtime. So
gorgeous. I mean, just this room itself is so powerful.
There's kind of a similar palette going on too. Yeah, this is the only Innivalakton name that I chose, and it's Kimmingwalk, and that's like a inside joke about the Super Nintendo game that I had with my grandmother, and it was just the character, and that's how she called it. So.
So the prime character in Super Mario?
Yeah.
And that's what she called him?
Yeah.
I love it, okay.
And I had fun with the static and like trying to figure out how to, and this was all from memory. And for me, I like to kind of doing a little still shot of static, and how would that look like with color, and exaggerating that with like the tones, and just like how static in itself moves very drastically, and it's very hard to translate. It's an in-between moment where you're about to play the game, or you're about to shut off the game, or you're about to
go back to TV.
Or shut it off. And for me, I think that's the whole purpose of all these works that I'm doing, is it's a moment to be like, this is a snapshot.
A moment in time.
A moment in time that I've, that are from my childhood or of my homes, basically.
So is this your home?
Yeah.
That you were growing up in?
Yeah.
The pictures on the wall, the framed pictures, are they family photographs?
Yeah, they're all different. They're all my dad's side, my mom's side. No matter how much you remember, it's still going to be pretty vague.
Yeah. So it's just those seen through time in your memory. Yeah.
Especially with indoor scenes, it's anything but winter, I think. And I think that's something that, whether that's spring, summer, fall, there's like this drastic light that I like to paint and like to convey as much as possible.
Yeah, which permeates the indoors as well as is obvious in the outdoors. Yeah.
It's my uncle's birthday, so I just thought it was very funny, and I was like taking a mental picture as well. And it wasn't this exact scene, but I just took a picture of her. What is it called?
So that's the flowered is a tablecloth.
Yeah, this is my grandma's home in McPherson, so they only do radio bingo.
Oh.
Yeah, so back home in Tuck we usually do TV bingo, but I just like the aesthetics of the radio bingo.
Of the radio.
Yeah. It's also a different experience too, because then it's like you can be any part of the room, and wherever room do you
Be
have.
part of it.
Yeah.
What happens if you get bingo?
You just call. I almost put in a phone, but you call in. Yeah.
Oh, just say you've got it. Okay.
Yeah. But she made buns that day, and then the birthday cake came that but right before, and it was just like, I don't know, the Bannock bingo birthday cake.
I love it.
Yeah. And I just thought it was a cute little still life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting slice of life too. You know, with bingo being called out and somebody's birthday and Bannock. And again, the teacup.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your handling of the drapes and the window, because it's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Again, I like having fun with like the light and how the light comes in, and trying to play with what stays, what goes, and the shadows and everything. So I don't know, it's like a deep red that just like shines through.
Well, it just grabs your eye when you first look at it. It's a wonderful sort of contrast with the blue of the cake. Your eye keeps going back and forth.
Yeah.
But again, in the color, that sort of paler green to that green to the bright red. It's really fabulous.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go outside again. And this one really fascinates me. That is a skidoo, and you're not using it in the summer.
We do.
You do?
Yeah, we do. We if you don't have a quad, sometimes you're able to just go on the land and are able to just use the skidoo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. So where is it, and what season? Like, what are all the flowers?
I would say like maybe end of July, just because of the ukbiks that are showing, and it's another mode of transportation if you don't have a quad. And I remember there's across the harbor. Usually you'd bring your quad across the ocean, but you already have your skidoo, so you don't have to move it.
Oh,
and so there's just skidoos that are just across the harbor after the snow melts in the ocean. So this was probably this is the skidoo I probably spent the most time with in my childhood, and I've probably learned the more about in terms of fixing or.
I'm just fascinated by the way it kind of is. The flowers are sort of surrounding it, and it's kind of almost mixing in with the flowers.
I like the idea of this vehicle just kind of sitting there for a moment at a time, and you kind of it's all the grass, the tree, not trees, but flowers and stuff like that will grow around.
Growing up around it.
Yeah.
You've left, obviously, blank space around it, in the bottom at any rate. How do you approach something like that? Does the skidoo come first, or how do you build that?
I tried to build the skidoo and then kind of envision how the grass and the flowers would form around it. So I did the top part, and then I did the bottom, kind of very, very gestural, very light.
Absolutely gorgeous. Well, from that to your grandmother.
Yeah. They're playing Nevadas. Yeah.
And how do you do that?
It's kind of like a paper, it's basically a piece of paper that you pop, and then if you make certain, like, kind of like a slot machine, but with paper, and you get cash prizes from $1 to $500.
So it's like a lotto kind of thing?
Yeah, and it's a very satisfying sound. It's just like paper clicking.
Yeah. Like popping bubble wrap?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. When I was doing this series, I really wanted more focus on the figure and surroundings, or a focal point, rather than, I think mostly the hands. I think I was mostly focusing on this, like how hands and how, like the attention to and focusing on an object that I found more interesting than the full figure. And I think doing a portrait without a full portrait of somebody.
Yeah, well, there's a noticeable absence of human faces in this show, but the figure of your grandmother is so strong. And again, the red of her jacket.
I was trying to put a scene of, like, you see the tent, and then this is outside the tent, and trying to, like, with the grass and kind of like the plywood background in the back.
So you said earlier you were working on these two at the same time.
Yeah, and because I liked the movements in some of the grass, and the colors really like kind of mirrored each other. So I liked the very detail-oriented part of this piece, but I also liked the abstract gestural parts. And then I was able to put that into a different piece fully. Because it's hard to be tedious for so long.
I can imagine. But there is, you know, with the full background, because you didn't leave a lot empty in this one, but it's just suggested, so that nothing, you know, distracts from the very strong figure. And I remember when you set out to start this series, you said that it was going to be memory, but not necessarily with people.
It's like this still moment that they are doing and that they're making, or they're, I don't know, I think the sound and the surrounding of it, I think is what I wanted to mostly focus versus the whole figure.
Right. Let's move on to this last one, which is also incredibly strong.
Thank you.
And again, the red that keeps coming out in this show.
I had a red moment, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about the subject of this to start with.
So this is my Uncle Nunki, and he's he's a very important figure in my life. And he makes slippers, he makes mitts, he's kind of like an all-around seamstress.
Right.
And he helped me make my first pair of slippers. And I'm so fascinated with patterns, and there's these cutouts that are just made of just paper, and then there's these drawings. And I think the drawings in itself are an art form in itself, because it's like these stencils, and then there's forms that happen, and the negative space that they create. It's just, I don't know, it's just so satisfying to me.
So these would be paper
cutouts
as sort of as patterns that he would use. It looks like he's making it slippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is just like a kitchen table.
Where did you start on this one?
I did the table. I kind of went with the table, and I went with the patterns, and then I kind of just tried to figure out his hands. And but what I started was the patterns itself, because I need to have that correct, and it's just hard with the perspective, and then I worked around the figure afterwards.
It's interesting in both of these that actually have people in them, that the real focal point is the hands to a great degree. And they're the hands that make things. I love the way you did his shirt. It's so expressive.
Thank you. It's many layers. I had fun. I like playing with plaid and and kind of changing it a bit. I like the general pattern of plaid, but then kind of like, again, trying to make my own pattern with his shirt.
Now, when you made this, were you working on another one, or was this?
This was just working on this one, yeah.
That makes sense because it is so unique, you know, in the group. Well, I congratulate you because it is absolutely a beautiful show.
Thank you.
Yeah.